Hello, this is Mike with Haltech Engine Management Systems, and today we will be covering how to use Dosbox in conjunction with a USB to serial adapter in conjunction with an E6K as well as Windows Vista. So first things first, with your USB to serial adapter, you're going to need to install all of the prerequisite drivers for that, and then from there we're going to go and make sure that we have the COM port set up properly. So by doing that, to do that, we will go to the Windows Start menu, and then we will go to the Control Panel. Inside the Control Panel, we will go to the Device Manager, and inside the Device Manager, we're going to check our ports, the COM and LPT. We're worried about our COM port. If everything went well in the installation of your USB to serial adapter, you should see it listed there in the drop-down menu. To change your COM port settings, it will tell you which it's set to, which it is set to 2. But to change this, you will right-click and you will go to Properties, and you should see that it's working properly. But we need to change the port settings. So to change that, we will click on the Port Settings tab. Don't change any of this data. Go to Advanced, and you'll see a drop-down box for the COM port number. I prefer using COM port 2, so I have selected that. I will select OK. I will select OK again. I will close my Device Manager, and I will close the Control Panel as well. Next thing we need to do, you'll have to download Dosbox, which you can do so from dosbox.com. From there, we're going to need to change the configuration file for Dosbox to enable the COM ports for use. So we will go back to our Windows Start menu. You should see Dosbox should already be installed, and you should click the Dosbox folder, and then you'll see dosbox.conf, the configuration file. We want to click on that. You're going to want to scroll down this configuration file until you see the serial settings. It is going to be fairly close to the bottom. Now, to use serial port 2 to COM port 2 for this, by default it will say serial 2 equals dummy, just like we see up here with serial 1. Now, depending upon which serial port, COM port you're going to be using, it will require you to now change. Since mine is on serial port 2, you're going to type direct serial, as you see there, and real port :COM 2. If you have it set for serial port 1, for COM port 1, it will, you'll just delete dummy and write direct serial real port :COM 1. That is if you're on serial 1. But I'm using serial 2, so I'll leave that there. After that's typed in, you're going to click Save, and you can then close out your Dosbox configuration file. You will also need to download the corresponding software for whatever ECU you have. In this case, we're using E6K, so we have got the E6K software downloaded. I've created a folder on the C drive. It is called Dosprogs, DOSPROGS, and I have saved my E6K V634 exe in that folder. That is what we're going to run via the Dosbox program. So after you've downloaded that from the Haltech site and saved it there, you'll be ready to start this wonderful adventure. So you'll open up Dosbox, and now we have to mount our C drive, and you should have saved it, as I said, in C/dosprogs. So what we do here is we type in mount C and then C:/DOSPROGS. Now it'll say that the drive C is mounted as the local directory. We're going to change the the directory to C drive, so we'll just type in C:, and that'll change it to the C drive. From there, we're going to need to type in our E6K v634.exe, because that is what we are wanting to run. So we will type that in, and we'll press enter. all goes well, you're now using Dosbox to run the software. You'll see that it asks you if you want to go online. If you have your COM ports configured already, you'll select yes. If not, we'll press N to go offline initially. And it'll say initializing program with default values, please wait. Now we need to change our COM port setup. So we hit Alt S. And we're going to go to Program Setup. We will press Enter. You'll see COM port, Haltech connected to COM 2. And that's because I have mine set up to COM port 2. It might say 1 by default. Press Enter to change which COM port you have. I want mine on COM 2, so I'm going to hit Enter there to get it to that. And you will hit Spacebar to save these changes. Will not be effective if the program is restarted. Hit any key to continue. Now we will hit Alt S and we will go to switch to the setup, and then we'll do switch mode. This should take us online. We'll say loading system information from the Haltech. As you can see on the bar here, it is connecting. And in this process, it may require you to redo the mounting of the C drive and reloading the E6K software after you have saved the COM port settings. It's just kind of hit or miss there. But currently, we were good to go on here. The ECU is online now. We are connected to it. And you can hit Alt-O, go to Options, and then press Enter on the engine data page. And we'll see all of our information there, pertinent information that the engine is running, and everything is good to go. So that is how you get Windows Vista to work with Dosbox and a USB to serial adapter, and some of the older legacy software like the E6K software.